Welcome back to African Metaphysical Center for Spiritual Healing, Body, Mind, and Spirit Development. I am your host, Dr. Darrell Greer, your metaphysical practitioner, Reiki master, and Qigong instructor. Today's lesson is, have you loved someone before? Has the thought ever occurred to you that, have I loved this person in another lifetime? If you are one of the 2/3 of the world's population that believes in reincarnation and the living of many lifetimes, you may very well have asked this question. Nothing in life is by coincidence. Although on the surface some things may appear to be simply by chance, there is a law of cause and effect that is constantly at work throughout nature, inclusive of meetings and relationships of a personal nature between two people. It does not matter how short or how long the relationship turns out to be, whether it is measured in mere minutes or an entire lifetime. People meet people and fall in love with them, or at least imagine themselves to be in love. From a deeper spiritual perspective, what is actually taking place is the living out of a karmic tie between two people. A karmic tie, carried over from one or more previous lifetimes, can be positive or negative. Positive would mean receiving the rewards of a positive relationship in this lifetime as a result of positive good existing between the two people in previous lifetimes. Negative would mean a need to improve a negative condition left over from a previous lifetime. Whether positive or negative, there is a law of karmic attraction that will draw you to one or more people in this lifetime, and they to you, because there is more to be lived out between you two. Examples of various types of love relationships and the meaning they have for the people involved might include a long-term relationship that is positive. This means that two people have reached a point of spiritual maturity with one another. This does not mean that either one of them or both souls have spiritually evolved or become enlightened. It simply means that they have perfected the goodness of trueness of love between them. There is, of course, another explanation, and that is that they are soulmates and have a spiritual closeness that can only be described as spiritual oneness. Perhaps you find yourself in a long-term relationship that is very negative. This is generally a carryover of hostilities from previous lives. In such a relationship, there is a need for much spiritual growth. Negative, unresolved issues from previous lives must be dealt with. Often, an observer to such a relationship or marriage may not see any improvement. Yet, every soul subtly in the unseen realm of the minds of both people, improvement is being made. Carryover relationships from previous lifetimes are also an integral part of your soul's purpose in this lifetime. Therefore, there are people who encounter many loves, or at least imagine loves, in just one lifetime. Most such souls are older souls who have, through their beliefs, visits of many lifetimes, encountered many souls with whom they have carryover needing to be lived out in this lifetime. Not all souls with numerous relationships are old souls. There are also souls who don't know who they are spiritually and are trying their hand at love with others who are equally spiritually immature. However, once they have an experience, positive or negative, with another young soul, it will become a carryover to another lifetime. You're understanding. Hence, the karmic tie begins. Once the karmic tie has begun, the carryover from one lifetime to the next may last over many lifetimes. Realize also that a carryover from previous lives is not just limited to a person with whom you fall in love. People all around you who you interacted with in a previous life may be present. Did you ever pass someone in a crowded place and feel some connection with that person? This may be a carryover from a previous life, although not necessarily a personal relationship. The point is that there is a lot more to life and living through numerous lifetimes than at first seems apparent. On a spiritual dimension, there is an infinite field of light shared by all souls. All that has ever been created was originally created that light, recreated in that light. All that has ever been continues in that light. For the light contains the cosmic memory of all souls. Within that cosmic memory, there are certain souls with whom you have shared love. Through this form of visualization, you become aware of any soul with whom you may have had previous life contact and with whom you now have physical contact in this lifetime. Once you are aware that there had been a previous life love, you may also become aware of whether this is a positive or negative carryover to this lifetime. In the mind of the Creator, all the love that has ever been and ever will be exists. Recorded in the memory level of the Creator's mind are all the lovers that have ever loved. Think of the Creator's mind as a cosmic love diary containing all of the Creator's creations. As a portion of the Creator's universal mind is a portion of the innermost center of consciousness within you. You have access to the memories of love contained therein. Through meditation and right spiritual living, the Creator within makes you aware that another person may be someone with whom you shared love in a previous life. For some, living out the positive or negative may be their soul's purpose for incarnating in this lifetime. Part of the so-called magic of love in its initial stages can be, to a large extent, due to a previous history of love involvement. The older the soul, the more lifetimes lived, and thus the greater the likelihood of coming into contact with at least several persons from previous lives with whom a person may have a karmic love tie. I hope you understand. Ashe, ashe, ashe. Until next time.